Some secrets wear wedding rings. Some truths only arrive after you've said, I do. The morning after we said our vows, confetti still clung to my hair. Marcus pulled me close in our hotel room, laughing at something unimportant. The way our wedding cake tilted during photos. The flower girl who'd fallen asleep beneath our table. And I remember thinking, this is happiness. This is what I waited for. My name is Clare Weston, and I spent 31 years being careful. Careful with my words. Careful with my decisions. Careful with who I allowed close. Marcus took 4 years to break through those walls. I gave him everything. The way you only do once. We arrived at the airport 2 hours early. He checked in first, moved through security with that easy confidence he wore like cologne. The kind that makes people part ways without thinking. I followed 20 feet behind, pulling my carry-on, still floating on wedding clouds. An officer stepped directly into my path. Tall. Calm. A badge, not a uniform. Federal, not airport staff. Ma'am, I need a moment of your time. I assumed routine. Random luggage check. Something small. He leaned closer, voice low so no one else could hear. Is that man your husband? I looked at Marcus, already past the gate, scrolling his phone. Yes, I said. Since yesterday. His expression didn't change. Not even slightly. Then you need to come with us. The room had no windows. 2 chairs. 1 table. A water bottle nobody opened for me. The kind of space designed to make walls feel like they're breathing inward. I sat without being asked. My legs decided before my brain could. 2 of them now. The man from the gate, Agent Reyes. A woman who only said, Agent Cole. She carried a folder. Thin, but present. She sat on the edge of the table without opening it. Mrs. Weston, Reyes began. Hearing that name, my new name, only 26 hours old, made my stomach drop through the floor. We need to ask about your husband. How long have you known Marcus Hale? Years, I said. For years together. Cole wrote something down. During that time, did he travel internationally without you? I thought about it honestly. A few times. Work trips. Logistics consulting. Travel is part of it. Did he tell you where specifically? I listed what I remembered. Frankfurt. Seoul. Monterey once. Cole's pen kept moving. Did he ever mention a woman named Diana Flores? The name meant nothing. I shook my head slowly. Reyes and Cole exchanged a look. Brief. Trained. The look people give when an answer confirms what they already knew. 40 minutes passed before anyone explained. Reyes finally opened the folder. He slid 1 photograph across the table. Printed, not digital. Deliberate. They wanted me to hold it. It was Marcus. Different haircut. Maybe 2 years ago. Standing outside a restaurant. Laughing. His hand on the small of a woman's back. Comfortable. Familiar. The posture of someone who'd done that 1,000 times. The woman was Diana Flores. We've been monitoring Mr. Hale for 14 months, Reyes said quietly. Not for violence. Nothing criminal in the traditional sense. He paused, choosing words carefully. He has a pattern. He identifies financially stable women. Builds trust over years, not months. That's what makes him unusual. Then, shortly after marriage, significant assets begin moving. I heard every word. Processed none of it. How many? I asked. Cole looked up from her notes. How many women? I said, steadier than I felt. A pause. Long enough to tell me the answer was worse than 1. Diana Flores was his wife, Cole said. They married in Phoenix 3 years ago. She filed a missing persons report 8 months in. The assets were gone. So was he. I placed the photograph down carefully. I asked for the water bottle. Not from thirst. I needed something to hold. While my entire understanding of 4 years quietly rearranged itself. Reyes let me sit with the silence. I appreciated that more than he knew. Diana Flores, I said finally. Where is she now? Phoenix. She rebuilt. Took about 2 years. Cole's voice carried something careful. Not pity. Respect for survival. And there are others. It wasn't a question. Reyes nodded. 3 additional women across different states. Different names he used. Different industries he claimed. the logistics consulting, the travel, the slow, careful courtship. It's a practiced methodology. He's exceptionally good at reading what a woman needs to believe. That last sentence landed deep. What had I needed to believe? That someone patient and steady had chosen me. That 4 years of consistency meant something permanent. That I had finally been careful enough. He hasn't broken any laws yet in your case, Reyes continued. You married yesterday. No financial movement detected. Which means you're still ahead of it, he said. He nodded slowly. If you're willing to help us. Yes. I looked at the thin folder. 14 months of work. 3 other women. A system built on manufactured love. What do you need from me? They needed 48 hours. That was the number Reyes put on the table. 48 hours of me behaving like nothing had changed. Fly to Cancun. Check into the resort. Sleep next to a man whose last name I'd taken yesterday. Whose real history I was only beginning to understand. We can't move without documentation of intent, Cole explained. What he did to others happened elsewhere. What he does to you happens here, under our watch. We need him to initiate the financial piece. 1 transaction. That's all. And if I say no, we release you. He boards his connection. We continue building the case the slow way. Reyes folded his hands. But Claire, the slow way means another woman after you. Maybe 2. I hated how effective that was. I thought about Diana Flores rebuilding in Phoenix over 2 years. I thought about the other women whose names I didn't know yet. I thought about Marcus in the terminal right now. Relaxed. Scrolling. Unbothered. That unbothered quality. I'd always read it as confidence. He'll wonder why security took so long, I said. We've already handled it. Customs flag cleared. He'll have received a text notification. Cole almost smiled. We've done this before. Of course they had. I picked up the photograph one more time. Looked at his hand on Diana's back. Okay, I said quietly. 48 hours. Marcus sat exactly where I expected. Corner seat. Facing the gate. Coffee in hand. When he saw me walking toward him, his face arranged itself into concern so naturally. I almost missed the half-second before it. The neutral expression of someone waiting without worry. They held you that long for a random check? He stood. Touched my face. Apparently my passport flagged something. Old issue from a work trip. I'd rehearsed it in the elevator. It came out clean. That's insane. You okay? I'm fine, I said. I just want to get on the plane. He kissed my forehead. I let him. On the flight, I watched him sleep. 3 hours over the Gulf of Mexico. I studied his face the way you examine something you thought you understood. Every relaxed feature. Every slow breath. The absolute peace of a man with no conscience. Or an exceptionally well-trained one. Cole had given me a secondary phone. Tucked beneath my toiletries. 1 contact saved. No name. Just a number. I was to document anything he initiated about our joint account. The investment transfer form he'd casually mentioned wanting to complete on our honeymoon. The beneficiary paperwork he'd called routine. Nothing about it was routine. I understood that now with surgical clarity. He brought it up on the second morning. We sat on the balcony. Breakfast between us. The ocean doing what oceans do. Making everything feel unhurried and safe. He slid his tablet across the table like an afterthought. Meant to handle this before the wedding. Time got away. Just a beneficiary update and the investment transfer we discussed. He sipped his coffee. Boring paperwork. Honeymoon tradition. We had never discussed an investment transfer. I looked at the form. His name listed as primary executive. An account holding most of what I'd spent 11 years building. The language was dense. The architecture was simple. 1 signature. It moved. Do you have a pen? I asked. He reached into his shirt pocket immediately. He'd been carrying one. I took it, uncapped it slowly, positioned it above the signature line. Actually, I said, I want to read it properly first. My attorney always said never sign anything on vacation. I smiled at him. She's annoyingly thorough. Something crossed his face. There and gone. A recalibration. Of course, he said easily. No rush. That night, while he showered, I photographed every page. Sent them to Cole's number. 14 minutes later, she responded with 2 words. We're ready. I sat on the edge of the bed and listened to the water running. He came out smiling, relaxed, completely certain of what tomorrow would bring. They came at breakfast. Third morning. 2 agents. Resort security standing back at respectful distance. Reyes led. He walked with the unhurried certainty of someone who'd waited 14 months for a 30-second moment. Marcus saw them before they reached the table. I watched him calculate exits, explanations, angles, all of it happening behind his eyes in 4 seconds. He was fast. I understood how he'd sustained this for so long. He looked at me, not with anger, with something more precise. Recognition. The specific look of someone realizing the person across from them was never quite who they appeared to be either. I held it without flinching. Reyes placed a hand on his shoulder, said something low. Marcus stood slowly, straightened his shirt with both hands, that small vanity intact. Even now, he didn't say anything to me. I didn't need him to. Cole called 2 hours later while I sat alone on the balcony. Coffee going cold. Ocean unchanged. Diana Flores wanted you to know, she said quietly. She said to tell you thank you. I didn't respond immediately. I watched a pelican drop straight into the water below. Clean and precise. It surfaced with exactly what it came for. I stayed the full week. I'd already paid for it. The ocean was genuinely beautiful. The mornings were quiet. I slept better than I had in 4 years. Some women spend years learning to be careful. Claire spent 1 week learning to be free.